The AI in Metal Gear Solid 2 was right, and we are living in the future that it predicted. You guys are watching Rayl Deal Games, and I'm going to be talking about the AI for Metal Gear Solid 2. I make new gaming videos every Wednesday and Friday, and if you like the video today, you may like my other and future work. We need internet curation in the modern era. The internet as it is today is too overproliferated with slop and AI, and these are a little bit different in my mind. There's AI slop, but then there's also just slop channels on YouTube and TikTok and everywhere that you could possibly look. I think part of the issue with this comes from the nichification of cultural interests and ideas.
All rhetoric to avoid conflict and protect each other from hurt. The untested truths, spun by different interests, continue to churn and accumulate in the sandbox of political correctness and value systems.
Everyone withdraws into their own small gated community, afraid of a larger forum. They stay inside their little ponds, leaking whatever truth suits them into the growing cesspool of society at large.
The different cardinal truths neither clash nor mesh. No one is invalidated, but nobody is right.
Not even natural selection can take place here. The world is being engulfed in truth.
And this is the way the world ends, not with a bang, but a whimper.
When you restrict yourself from viewing alternative opinions or interests, you really do start to stop your growth. You start to stagnate within your individual ideals. And I think that's why I think it's important within the video game sphere to play a variety of video games, even if you like one specific genre, to play as many games from that genre as you possibly can. But then also beyond that, I'm not really a political channel, so I'm not going to go that deep into that, but you should also always check for ideas that conflict with yours and agree with you, or go beyond what you agree with. So on your side, but maybe a little bit too extreme. And the reason why it's important to do that is because it adds context for you and helps you with the creation of your own ideas. The internet as it is right now is not designed that way, though. Everybody is trying to create pathos with anger specifically. And that's really kind of dangerous. Anger is a great emotion for getting people to at least notice you, but it is not necessarily a great emotion for the creation of a better human civilization. And then when you combine that idea with an internet that is just full of junk and slop, you've kind of created a Huxley hell in a lot of ways. A situation where you are being placated with entertainment, but you're not actually moving forward with your brain or with your interests either. And that's why I want to take a second to talk about AI in our lives. Now, I'm not the first person to say that AI is a risky endeavor, to say the least. But the thing that I really question about the importance of AI and maybe how quickly we're picking it up is that the essence of AI is the externalization of imagination and critical thinking, and the end result of that is going to be a less complex brain for everybody who uses it. The perfect anecdote that I have for this is tractors for farmers. So farming, backbreaking work, very, very difficult. Tractors made it easier, absolutely made it easier. But it didn't actually decrease the workload for the farmer. It just extended the amount of hours that they had to work. And I actually think AI is going to do this for white-collar jobs, where it's going to extend the amount of hours that they have to work because you can do more now, because AI can do part of it. And actually think about this within the teaching field, because AI is starting to show up on the teaching side of things and in academia. And that, to me, is really concerning, since it is just the copying of other ideals, and academia should be a lot about unique ideas and unique experiences, especially within the realm of teaching. And then on the literary side, when I was rewatching the scene from MGS2, the only thing that I could think of was the time machine from H.G. Wells. In the time machine, the inventor goes to the future and he gets to see the end result of humanity. And the end result of humanity is that there were two species. Humanity evolved into two different species that weren't human anymore. And one of them were the Morlocks, which lived underground, and the other were the Eloi, I don't really know how to pronounce the term because I've only ever read the book, I've never heard it said aloud, but the Eloi who live above ground and are taken care of by technology. And those that were taken care of by technology cannot defend themselves from those beneath ground, who go above ground and consume the Eloi. Now, I don't know, I'm not saying that we're going to end up there at all, but the idea that we are externalizing things that are very important for us as people, I think is true. And is part of what I think the MGS2 AI are talking about, the externalization of human futures. You see, when you start externalizing physical things, it just hurts your body, and you can live without that. Like, we can supplement hard labor by going to the gym, and your body can be healthy still, and hard labor is not good for your body anyway. So you can supplement that particular thing, but how do you supplement with the externalization of things that develop the mind? How do you supplement you thinking about what you've read or thinking about what you're doing or coming up with arguments? How do you supplement that? There's no way to do it because these things were things that should be done on your own. Reading a book is something that you do in private and you read and you think about it. Coming up with an argument is something that you should work out on your own before you present it, right? And when you start externalizing these aspects of the human experience, you're going to hurt your ability to think things through. That's why the idea of curating the internet is such a big part of that MGS2 section. Who has the right to curate? I definitely don't, but who does? Should it be AI who are more passive? But then what are we doing if we are handing the reins of human control to something that is not human? Isn't it easy to just reprogram an AI and make it so that they're not trustworthy anymore? It's kind of a big philosophical and moral quandary, which is why I like this section of MGS2 so much. I think there are things that we can do on the human side to cause a little bit of curation online in nice ways that are kind of helpful for creators and viewers. I think if you limited people to one post a day, you would cut down on so much noise, so much AI content, and so much slop content would just die immediately because they really profit on the idea of 3 posts a day, 5 posts a day, whatever the case may be. I think dropping to 1 post a day per person actually helps an insane amount with the amount of just trash that's flooding online. And then I think there's other things that you can do, such as nerfing React content, maybe by adding revenue share, because a lot of that is just stealing other people's work. Yes, you add to it, but you also didn't do the 100 hours of video editing and stuff like that. So you really get to profit without the work, the hard work. And so I think that would actually cut down on a lot of those React channels and the viability of the business practice. And then the other thing I think that we can do is that we can enforce view time to permit commenting. So what I mean is that you actually need to watch the video like 50% before you can drop a comment. I actually have an anecdote for this for one of my videos. I'm not a particularly large content creator or anything like that, but it happened to me. I had somebody click on one of my videos. They didn't watch the video, they commented, and their comment was like very much projecting their idea of what I was going to say in the video upon me, even though it was really not what I was talking about at all. And the big problem with this is as soon as I asked them, did you watch the video? They clearly went back and watched the video and went back on what they said and said that the video was way more nuanced than they thought it was going to be. And I think the fact that all it took was them maybe watching a couple minutes for them to get there really cut down on a lot of vitriol between myself and them, and we had a okay conversation after that. And I think that would actually cut down on a lot of anger online. And we definitely need anger online to be cut out, man. It needs to go. These are the ways that we as people can curate online, which I think is very important. I don't think we should hand the reins over to AI because I would hate for all human thought and expression to be combed through and manipulated by AI. That sounds like a perfect recipe to lead to the creation of our own fallacy, to include a Final Fantasy 13 idea, especially since there's no way that they can potentially know all of the memetics of humanity. A lot of what exists for humans is in the physical world. It's not online at all. And I don't think AI are equipped to create an online space that is curated for people. All they can do is follow a directive, and who is the one doing the directing, right? Even if it was generative AI is based on the ideas that exist online already. And we all know that common consensus is not a definite declaration on the content or the things that we should espouse as a civilization, because common idea is easy to manipulate with propaganda. And guys, I would love to hear your thoughts, so I'm going to pass it back to you. This was a little bit of a short one this week, but I just really was thinking about this particular section of MGS2 and wanted to talk about it very briefly today. What do you guys think? What is the best way to curate online? I am of the opinion that the AI in MGS2 was right, that the internet sphere needs some level of curation. But the next question is, how do we do that? What do you guys think? Let's come up with solutions together, because I'm a very solution-minded individual. Let's discuss it in the comments below, and while you're down there, consider subscribing, smashing the like button, and ringing the notification bell. You may like my other and future work. Regardless of what you choose to do, thank you for keeping it real with Rayl Deal Games today, and I hope you all have an awesome one.